Hi, so if you watched video 1629, you'll notice I did something on the MOST project. The MOST project is a way of storing solar energy as thermal energy, and I did it because I got a comment saying, hey, look what Matt Ferrel's done, would you mind having a look and letting me know what you think about it? So I did, I had a look at the thing, but as part of that research, I came across a guy called Thunderfoot. Now, somebody else pointed out Thunderfoot, and I just thought, oh yeah. But I looked, and this guy's got 1 million subscribers, and of course Matt Ferrel has got 1 million subscribers, more or less. So what I thought was going to be subscriber envy, I don't think so anymore, because it seems that Thunderfoot has taken quite a dislike to Matt Ferrel. And I watched the videos because I just found them tremendously amusing, actually. But he makes what seems to be some very interesting points. He tears the guy to pieces, basically. Now, his videos, I warn you, they're a little bit wrong, and long, and he is most clearly a man of definite opinions, which he will repeat several times. So it can be a little difficult to watch, I thought, but even so, the way he rips into the guy is both amusing and convincing, because he includes clips of Matt saying stuff like, oh yeah, we researched this in depth. And then he goes and shows what Matt Ferrel's research was, which, according to Thunderfoot, consists mostly of advertising brochures for the company that he's looking at and news headlines that get flipped up on the various news channels. Thunderfoot says that Matt doesn't really understand the thing that he's talking about. He's got no basics in chemistry, no background in science, but he's very good at doing video presentations. So he doesn't really know what he's talking about, and he talks about it with great fluidity and charm. And to be honest, when Thunderfoot was pointing some things out that Matt Ferrel was saying, then yeah, it certainly looked like Matt Ferrel hadn't got a clue, because he was saying some nonsense things like, oh, you can get hydrogen out of the flue gases of incineration plants, because there is no hydrogen in flue gases of incineration plants, because hydrogen burns and it's all burnt. What's in flue gases is carbon dioxide, nitrogen, water, and some trace sulfur gases. So clearly Matt didn't understand on that respect what he was talking about, because the two videos that Thunderfoot pulled to pieces that I saw were the hydrogen storage thing and the so-called structural battery, which he titled massless battery. Because the idea of a massless battery, well, I mean, that's just pure nonsense, because you can't have a battery without mass. If there's no mass, there is nothing, and so no battery. You can't just wave two crocodile clips around and get a battery. So the idea of it was nonsense, but he went on to show what he really meant was a structural battery, and it's supposed to be groundbreaking, and it consisted mostly, as far as I could tell, of slapping some normal batteries in between two bits of carbon fibre, and then he rambled on about that for a good sort of few minutes or so. So, according to Thunderfoot, and certainly from Thunderfoot's perspective and from the arguments Thunderfoot makes, what Matt is mostly involved in doing is taking whatever pops up on the newsline, doing some very, very light research, sticking on a clickbait title, and then collecting views. And when you watch Matt's videos, and actually a good 2 minutes of it in the middle are always the advertisement for his sponsor, where he talks about that. So I have found Matt's videos a bit overlong as well myself, to be honest. I found them a little bit empty, a little bit overlong. So I can understand where Thunderfoot is coming from. Now, this has had an effect. When Matt was talking about the hydrogen storage bit, he was embarrassed enough that he did something he very rarely does. He did what he called an update video, where he basically apologised and said he misspoke, and then he should correct himself, and he corrected himself wrongly. He got it wrong again, which was, a bit embarrassing, I would have thought. But certainly it would seem that Matt is feeling the pressure a little bit. And Thunderfoot, on his last video that he did when he was looking at this massless battery, gave out a general call that if anybody wanted him to look at other Matt Ferrel videos and similarly tear them to pieces, he was more than happy to do it. Now, these two videos I'm talking about were posted 2 weeks ago and 3 days ago, so it would seem to me that there is definitely trouble are brewing. It looks like there's going to be a war between Matt Ferrel and Thunderfoot. Now Matt, he's quite a quiet guy, whereas Thunderfoot is, as I say, somebody of definite opinion. He's certainly not somebody I would like to meet in a dark alley if I'd spilt his pint on him earlier in the day. So, quite a strong character. I can imagine that it's going to be a little bit brutal from one side and a little bit whiny from the other. But should be kind of interesting because, you know, with YouTube, the number of people, I think it's 306,000 accounts, have more than 100,000 subscribers. Getting more than 100,000 subscribers is challenging in itself. Getting 1 million subscribers means you're right up there in the top 1% or 2. So these are two heavyweight YouTube channels in the area of tech who are really stepping up toe to toe in the ring. They're at the weigh-in and they're busy yelling at each other, and it looks like there may well be a bit of a scrap between those two brewing. I'm certainly going to watch and see if it develops because I do think you should be a little more careful about what it is that you say if you're going to be saying it. Anyhow, I thought I would share that with you, give you a bit of a heads up because it may well be worth watching this space to see what develops. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and please do remember to like and subscribe because subscribers make a big difference. Ask Matt Ferrel.